We got to talk about McDonald's Grimace trend. It was huge. It blew up, and I think this sort of synergy sort of walks a couple lines of where I think social is going to a degree. So if you don't know what the Grimace trend is, it was started by this guy here. Trend was posted June 13th by Austin Frazier, according to this interview with him, which is on NBC News. He basically saw a version of this when someone had a Burger King Spider-Verse Whopper and then ended up in the hospital. He did this with the Grimace shake, which is like a purple shake. I haven't tried it yet, but this is a phenomenal trend for McDonald's. Kids across the country, you know, there's sweet spot 18 to probably 30, went out and bought shakes and made these little scary movies where you basically drank the shake. Happy birthday, Grimace. It starts off real positive and G-rated, and then it's like, it cuts to like a murder scene. It's absolutely hilarious. I've watched like 20 of these and they're just brilliant. And I think with all the negativity in the world, I mean, I love to see the young kids creating like this. I know if I was 18 or, you know, didn't have to work for a living, I would be out there with my friends creating movies like this. So it's just so awesome to see it. Maybe it wasn't what McDonald's would have picked as a campaign, but man, they got so much earned value. They tweeted out, I think they tweeted out like us pretending not to see the trend with a picture of like Grimace making a face with like his eyes wide open. So it's just a great moment. I think this is like the guy skating for, what was it, cranberry juice, ocean spray. It's just that natural vibe that people create that turns into something so big for the brand. And I want to pause here because it made me think about where things are going in general. And Garyvee, if you have, you know, Garyvee, Gary Vaynerchuk, he was explaining in a recent video on his LinkedIn account that brands should go, if you don't understand the TikTokification of social, essentially with a vertical video done well, if you post it on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts, you could blow up. I mean, brands, they just don't get, you could be cranking out 3 to 20 posts a day on these networks and just going all in an organic creative. It's the best time ever to do that. I mean, I dabble and I have 1 million followers, right? Like, if brands took it serious, created short form, vertical, quarterly, monthly shoots, creating content, testing a lot of different concepts, not being so stuck in the what is my brand, they could be blowing up, right? This begs to my point of like Garyvee said in that video that you should be really focusing on organic strategy. When something goes, you then take your media and amplify the good creative. So use your organic as a testing ground for creative. It's a very hard thing for brands to wrap their head around because typically you plan the creative and the media at the same time, you ran TV spots. The game is just not that anymore. It's much harder, not even harder, it just takes more like sweat equity to do what Gary's saying, is make a lot of organic content, find what's working for your brand, make more of it, and then amplify that. So let me think of this as like the agency in the world changes. What if the bigger role of agency, creative agencies and agencies is to not only just make things, it's more about, you know, media planning, writing those creative briefs, and then like literally sending it out to 1,000 creators, having them create it, taking the top performing stuff and just making that your campaign. As long as it fits through that thread of your brief, what does it matter anyways? I know that's a bold statement. I know marketers are going to push back on me. That is really the biggest moments in culture and brand marketing the last 5 years is how it's happened, but it just happened as someone creating content for the brand that they love. You've actually seen TikTok experiment with this in a way with what they have a program called TikTok Missions, and they essentially have not a great brief, but they give you enough just to make a video, and then like thousands of people make it, and then they share in the revenue of the campaigns, and then certain aspects of those, the better content chosen by the brand gets blown up, like it gets boosted basically, and then you get a big part of that ad share. I mean, that's very modern. It's a lot scarier maybe to brands, but it could be way more efficient and way more effective if you're rolling out these broad monster campaigns. Again, I'm speaking in theory because there's some challenges to the 1,000, the 2,000, or however many creators you want to tap. But it just speaks to that, you know, sometimes things that you can't plan and more natural marketing and it's fun like this, I think is still dead on for their, you know, their brand. It's like so good. It plays off a funny character and it actually reached the younger demographic, but it did it in a very organic and fun way. And I really don't think that any creative, I mean, I feel like these are the ideas we throw out to brands and then they laugh because it's just, they're like, oh, it's not on brand, but essentially it's the thing that drove the Let's Count. Again, I know this is a wild theory. I definitely think there's a room for this with a bigger brand to play more like this. and test things out. But I do think the theory that Gary's going on, if you understand TikTok Reels, how you can basically have no followers post and get 1 million views, or if you consistently post all day, you're just going to blow up because you're going into a endless feed of people trying to find content that's valuable, entertaining, or emotional to them. And if you play in these places, small, mid-sized brands, you should be first hires in your marketing team should be a really good creator, a video person who can help you to create strategy. If you're a personal brand, a law office, a lawyer, you need to know how to work with video, and you should be cranking it out right now. This is your opportunity to blow your brand up. If you're a dentist, hire someone to come in 2 days a week to shoot at your office and you create content, learn the skills of that, and you can blow up overnight. So I just had that thought. I just want to share that with you guys. It might be a little left field or right field, whatever you want to say for people, but I do think it is a thread of smartly partnering with creators, vertical video, organic content, the way that things are going. And I think the bigger takeaway is, if the idea of like handing your brand to creators is too crazy, is that you need to be going more all in on organic, and you need to be experimenting with how to bring your brand to life in these days. And all you have to do is hold on to is education, entertainment, creating emotion through your brand lens, your creative briefs. So I think there's a lot of opportunity out there. We've had brands go viral pretty quickly in the first few posts of us just doing quarterly shoots for them. So hope you learn from that. Would love to hear your thoughts on that crazy thought from me.